The faster that you can pivot into that, the easier things are going to be. And you're choosing to do hard things. You're choosing to do hard things instead of it being like, oh, you're a victim to the hard things that are in front of you that you have to do. And sometimes you just have to give yourself a really clear reality check and say, like, you know what? I've had harder days. So we'll be fine. Hello, and welcome to the Empress podcast. I am your host, Jessica, known in the online space as Jess the Empress. I started this podcast to help you be present with yourself, cope with chaos, and simplify your life. I do this by combining psychology, behavioral science, and the tarot. I have a background in mental health, specifically a master's in clinical social work from USC, and I'm a professional tarot reader. So get ready to have a nurturing, creative, and empowering experience with me as we use practical magic. Hey love, before we get to today's episode, I want to ask you to rate and review my podcast. Giving me a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts would mean the world to me. I love knowing who's listening and what everyone is getting from the episode, so please take a moment of your time to share your thoughts, and I look forward to reading your reviews soon. Hey there, coffee lovers. Are you tired of settling for boring coffee? I have a treat for you. Today's episode is brought to you by Heartwork Coffee Bar, your one-stop destination for exceptional coffee experiences. Whether you're a coffee connoisseur or just someone who appreciates a great cup of joe, Heartwork Coffee Bar is here to elevate your coffee game to new heights. At Heartwork Coffee Bar, they take pride in their craft because each batch is carefully roasted to perfection, ensuring that every sip is a symphony of flavor. From the rich and the robust to the light and fruity, they have a coffee blend for every palate. And here's the best part. For you amazing podcast listeners, Heartwork Coffee Bar is offering an exclusive 10% discount on your purchase. Just use the code Empress10 at checkout and you'll save big on your order. Why settle for ordinary when you can indulge in the extraordinary coffee from Heartwork Coffee Bar? Remember to use code Empress10 for that special 10% discount and treat yourself to the coffee experience that you deserve. Don't miss out on this fantastic offer. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thanks to Heartwork Coffee Bar for making today's episode possible. Now go grab your favorite mug, brew a fresh cup, and enjoy the podcast with the perfect companion, Heartwork Coffee Bar. Cheers. Hey, hi, hello, and welcome to the pod. It's your girl, Jess. Thank you so much for being here. I just want to say I'm so grateful to have you here today. If you are watching on video, I have added a new background. I found this one on Pinterest. Look, it's got like a little fireplace. It's so cute, so moody. I like all the plants and the books in the backgrounds and the little like fur rug situation or like blanket. I don't know. It just looks really cute and cozy. We have officially entered fall. It is November 7th. I just want to be surrounded by cozy, even if it's, just a background. I think it looks pretty cute. What I'm going to get into today is the topic of choose your hard. Now, this is a concept that I use all the time with my clients, but it's also something that I am putting in the Hellacious Hotties Academy. But before we talk about what choosing your hard actually means, I want to talk to you about the Hellacious Hotties Academy. I am so excited about this offering. I've been working on it behind the scenes, so I'm going to give you the rundown of exactly what it is. It's a small group, 5-week coaching program with me, your girl. This is for anybody who wants to stop living in the shadows. The whole point of these classes is to get you very comfortable with integrating your shadow. But first, you have to learn how to confront it and really understand what it's doing and how it's serving you. It's actually protecting you. So week 1 in Hellacious Hotties, we do a welcome. We go over the syllabus. There's an introduction to shadow work, and then there is intention setting. Now, week 2 is where we get into choose your hard, because what we're talking about is exploring the shadow and accepting the shadow. Week 3, we have a self-acceptance and then confronting the shadow as a regular practice, along with upgrading beliefs. Week 4, we have healing through integration, self-compassion, and then practicing self-compassion. So really understanding what that looks like on a day-to-day basis. And then week 5, we have a whole plan for moving forward. We also go into the positives of the shadow. We have a little celebration. And then we also have empowering your future. You can check my website, jesstheempress.com, for the full rundown of everything. There's definitely more details on there, but enrollment is open now and classes start on February 3rd. If you've had a desire for a lot more in your life and you feel like there's just so many blocks and you don't know where to start, this is absolutely the class and academy for you. I'm only opening it up to 5 other people at a time. So there's only going to be 6 people in there because myself is included as the teacher slash instructor. There's going to be dialogue. There's going to be support. There's also a Hellacious Hotties Facebook group where there's going to be open chats for everybody throughout the week. The other thing Hellacious Hottie members get is chatting with me on a weekly basis, which is really nice because we get to text. And then you also get one 15-minute one-on-one with me after you graduate the academy and the course. If this sounds like something you're interested in, I would absolutely love to chat with you. So don't hesitate to reach out. You can email me, find the socials. They're linked in pretty much anywhere. Podcast, YouTube, whatever, Instagram, like you can find me and we'll chat. Now, on to the topic of today's episode, choose your hard. A lot of us have learned how to be helpless. And this is so hard. It's hard to live your life like a victim when you're actually not a victim. When I say I want something, I'm going to do my best to go get it. But I also can sometimes have a victim mindset. I've talked about this in like previous episodes. If I have it, I know other people have it. I think women are just conditioned to be more victims than men are. That's a whole nother thing. But when I'm going to get something, I really have to confront the part of my mind that is just making up all these stories about how it's going to be hard, how everything is hard. It's like, oh God, I'm just becoming like wallowing in this travesty of life kind of vibe. Now I have to confront this same energy in my clients because I'll call them out when I see it and I'll be like, great, now that you know everything is hard, because that's the story you're telling yourself, I want you to choose your hard. Okay. And the hard choices that you're making right now are not doing what you want to do because in 5 years, it is going to be much harder for you to live out the victim mentality than living out the mentality as if you are empowered because you are empowered. It is a choice. Choosing to believe that you can figure things out and that there are solutions and that solutions are on the way to you, that's an empowered mindset. Taking aligned action is also a state of empowerment. You are being that empowered version of yourself when you're doing the things that are hard. It's harder to sit around and do nothing. It feels worse. But sometimes, because our brains are so loud and they love to create little stories, they tell us what we're about to do is harder than where we're at. It's harder than sitting there and playing the victim. And I'm going to tell you, nothing is harder than sitting around and playing the victim. So, this is what I want you to confront in your own life today. Where are you playing the victim? And where are you choosing your hard? What's harder right now in your life? Telling yourself you're going to go to the gym every day and then not going to the gym and then feeling like shit? Or actually getting in the car, driving to the gym and doing a thing, right? Because when you follow an aligned action plan, you always feel rewarded. You always feel good because you have your own back. You're never going to feel good when you're in the victim mindset because you're abandoning yourself. You're not focusing on your strengths. You're not focusing on what's possible. You're basically taking the power away from yourself to do anything. And you're just like, oh, well, this is what it is. When in fact, that's not what it is. What it is you making a choice to tell yourself that you're a victim. Come on, bestie, come on. Like I know that life is hard. I have had hard experiences almost my entire life, but that's not going to stop me from continuing to make the hard choices that I have in front of me. No one says that our choices have to be easy all the time. I don't know where we got that. I don't know why we hang on to it. I think it's a little bit of false hope and I think it's a little bit of a fantasy. I want you to notice what's true in your body. Okay. I want you to take yourself on this thought journey and I want you to notice how this impacts your physical being. Okay. So the first path is you write down a list of things that you know you absolutely have to do. They could be basic, let's say laundry, grocery shopping, and a 15-minute walk. And you wake up and you are like in a freaking funk. Okay. And you have all these voices in your head that are like, oh, you're too tired. Oh, why would you want to do this today? This is so whatever and blah, blah, blah. And then you go through the whole day just listening to that inner narrative. That inner narrative is playing while you're doing the dishes. That inner narrative is playing while you are drinking some coffee. That inner narrative is playing as you're putting laundry away. Like it's not the vibe. Like you can feel that in your body and you know for a fact it feels gross. Now, The same list is in front of you, and maybe those voices are still there. However, what you do, you choose to respond to those voices that are in your head differently. And like we all have this voice, this inner critic, this shadow part of ourselves that's like, oh, it's all hard. Like we all have it. But you have to respond as the actual creator of your reality, right? Like the bigger person is you, not that voice. I want you to think of that voice as just like an extra. It's a part of you, it's not all of you. So you're going to respond to that voice with, like, yeah, and it might be hard, but you know what? I can do hard things. I have options. I can structure my day in a way that makes sure that I get everything done, even if it's difficult. And sometimes you just have to give yourself a really clear reality check and say, like, you know what? I've had harder days. So we'll be fine. It's so, 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 so important that you have an inner dialogue with yourself that encourages you to take action and keeps you in the realm of empowerment for as long as possible. Now, if you stop paying attention to the fact that you are empowered, that little voice will probably pop back up and try to get your attention, try to take you down the path of victim and all the things that come with it. And you already know what it feels like when you're there. It doesn't feel good. And everything is going to be a lot harder when you don't feel good. The hard things are going to be even worse because you're feeling like crap. So, two mindset shifts that follow the concept of choosing your hard. Responding to whatever that voice in your head says with, I can figure this out. You have to say, I can figure this out. And the second thing is solutions exist. In the moment, you don't have to know what the solution is. You just need to stay open to knowing that they exist. That is what's most important, bestie. That right there. Knowing solutions exist and knowing that you can figure things out. There's always a way to figure things out. What what is that? Did you guys just see the balloons pop up? I don't know what I did. For those of you on camera, I mean off camera, there was a bunch of like balloons that just popped up. I might have like a hand motion thing on. Weird. Those are the two most important things to step out of a victim mindset. Okay. So the first thing, I'm going to repeat it, is understanding that you can figure anything out. You have to say that to yourself. Everything can be figured out, right? And solutions exist. The faster that you can pivot into that, the easier things are going to be. And you're choosing to do hard things. You're choosing to do hard things instead of it being like, oh, you're a victim to the hard things that are in front of you that you have to do. So, if you're like me and you've got a lot of hard things in front of you, this is just a reminder that you can do it. And of course, some gentle reflections for how to really tighten up your mindset and your follow through. I think a lot of things, they do start in the mind. It's not always the solution, but it can play a huge role. So, just take that with you throughout the week and see how you feel. Thank you so much again for being here. I love you. Bye.